So Cartwright picked up High-Rise Gallery Moderne.
Yep.
Interesting.
All right.
All right. So before we step in real quick, just to give you something to start with, we have transfer, swap, and fingerprint cut. And starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Purloin being on instead of fingerprint is a really interesting decision on this one. I don't see it that often.
Yeah, very strange. Because the frame potential is so high here. That's one of the big aspects of playing a 3-5 here. Kind of like on pub, really.
What's Pwndnoob saying in chat? Is he?
Don't worry about it.
All right. Well,
It is not
Pwndnoob is
real.
going to Pwndnoob is going to get offered a drink here. He's gonna reject by walking away. Not gonna try to Purloin yet.
So I would say this is just Noob playing Noob's game, but it's really just Noob playing high rise. You can waste a lot of time in this setup.
And that's a green flirt with 49%. As we mentioned before, critical number because you can still get that 2 flirt.
Critical number, but of all the venues in this entire tournament, I would say the 2 versus 3 flirt matters far and away the least here. The only time I think it matters is when it's like that Kaylee game where you can 2 flirt so quick sometimes that you're going to force them to shoot with 2 minutes left and they just don't want to do it. But barring that, the 3 flirt is not that much worse.
And this is a really good BB here. Everyone's in for real. This is
fantastic. The perfect BB. That's massive.
Yeah, the only thing that could make it any better was it being a green BB.
Right. But Cartwright doesn't really seem to care too much about the talking animation, and when you get above a certain point, there are still very few people who are going to bother to credit that at all. They might do it on balcony where the whole game can hinge on it, but generally speaking, people are loath to give any credence to that.
And here is that 2 flirt we're talking about comes off 49%. 51% on this one.
If you want to finish, do it right now. Go to center statues right now and force them to a difficult shot, on a difficult early shot.
Or let Toby offer you a drink. Purloin, white.
That makes just as much sense because who would do it here? It's the exact same thing as Kaylee, except with a tray instead of a bar.
Does Cartwright notice?
No, because why would you look for it? It's the exact same game. It's the same game on a different venue. It really is. It's the same logic. It's the same sniper thought process.
And that is Pwndnoob going up 1-0 over Cartwright.
Yeah, and at that point, you don't even want the green. I really don't think you do. You don't care if they see it. Are they really going to shoot you with that much time left? What are they going to credit? They're going to credit a 2 flirt? High rise is all about patience, waiting it out, giving the AI opportunities to finish, and then force them into difficult shots. If you can hit those greens real quick and get a good banana bread, you absolutely should think about pressing them like that.
Right.
Makes perfect sense.
Stepping into the next one. Whoa! Finally, we have a non-mirror on cut mission. So this time we have transfer, swap,
fingerprint on.
Yes. So we have fingerprint on. So that was a switch out from fingerprint for Purloin. So this should be a much now. Then again, this means that there's a much slower path to victory. Where keeping Purloin in sped things up, and so very different types of wins available now. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
And that's okay, because there aren't going to be too many games like that. Even if you're really good at ATs, you're still not going to hit that many 2 greens and happen to be able to have a really good banana bread available in the first minute and a half of the game.
Right. And Cartwright's going to step in next to his ST here. Hasn't flirted yet, but is probably looking to. He does know he can wait on his ST. His ST's not going to leave until the talking animation is done in all likelihood.
Yeah, and not just that. That could be really significant. I might be reading too much into, but he might actually understand the kind of sniper he's up against in Noob and realize, that he can't just play a totally boring standard game here. Mm-hmm. That could be a precursor of things to come, I think. I think Cartwright has looked, I think he played a perfectly fine sniper game there. I don't think we learned too much about a sniper from that because things lined up so well. But that patience on that flirt, I don't know. That just strikes me as unusually thoughtful here.
Noob gets a highlight on Bling Twin. Not sure what for.
Do not try to analyze Noob's highlights too much.
I know.
Madness.
I know we got Buns and Seek for statues, but I have no idea otherwise.
I'll hazard the occasional guess, but they are very much going to be guesses sometimes.
Seek is going to finish up fingerprints here. I think that's going to be really important. If Cartwright knows that Seek has finished up fingerprints and he waits for a BB with Seek in it, that's going to be huge because it's a big frame opportunity.
You need to keep an eye on that. You really need to keep an eye on possible.
Seek's going to finish statues and fingerprint.
That is huge, and the BB has to be good now.
Yeah, the BB has to be there, or honestly, Pwndnoob could just shoot Seek as soon as he talks in the conversation.
Yeah.
That is like viable, I
And
think.
remember, so if you're Noob too, you presumably don't know too much about Cartwright now. You know he's a little newer, even though he's got a decent game count. There's no reason not to think, hey, maybe he's just going to be a little obvious. Maybe he's just going to get things done. Totally plausible. You don't know.
Yeah, I think new players go through this kind of like phases where first they're very scared of doing things,
Yes.
and then after that they get into the point where okay, I'm just going to do them.
Right. I would
And
say my operating assumption for so long was that newer players don't do things. The newer generation of players, though, since Steam, I just don't think that's true anymore. I think maybe from watching the casts, I don't know, they're much more aggressive on average.
now Seek does get 3 fingerprints here, and that might be a little bit less suspicious, is the thing.
Yeah, that's bad.
Oh, he gets low lit though. Cartwright gets low lit, but he doesn't have anything done is the problem. Bug
Yeah.
is on, so there is like the panic go to get a bug option if
But
you can get
there's
there.
no reason for him to be confident he has a low light. He's been
Oh,
very
he
idle.
misses the reverse drive by bug, but it doesn't matter. He's low lit. It's not seen.
And he had to be low lit, though, because it was otherwise pretty much in full view.
Yeah. He's gonna go over. Looks like he's gonna go grab this BB. Oh, he stacks on top of Oprah a little bit. It's a little
It's well
annoying.
timed.
But he does get a shot off on Bling Twin. Looks
Yeah.
like for kind of a Woodar shot-ish going on there.
Hard to say. All three of the highlights, though, that Noob had left are were in that back conversation. So he got the BB off at a pretty decent time. That party was just really active.
Yeah, that was a really nice party for Cartwright going on there.
Yeah, and good presence of mind for him. You know, he did not force anything there, did not force the action, and 1-1. Maybe we got a game here.
Yeah.
All right, stepping into this one, and we are on gallery. First time that's shown up tonight.
Yep.
Starting or today. I can't even tell time anymore. Everything is darkness. All right.
Some people live in the UK. That's fine.
That's true. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
I mentioned earlier that we didn't get any kind of impression about that sniper game there because it was just such a good game from Noob and a good game for the party in particular there for Noob.
Yeah.
If
both
Cartwright plays a
really nice parties in that high race set.
If Cartwright wins this sniper game and does it in a way that Noob isn't giving away, then you got to watch out. Then you know you're in for a real match.
Early flirt on that really tiny pad. I know a lot of people will give suspicion for it, but it doesn't look like Cartwright does.
It's hard to do. If you want to be suspicious, fine. But half the games you're gonna have 6 highlights early if that's what you want to do.
And this is a free fingerprint off of drink. The question is, does Cartwright know? Because hell, I didn't know, but I'm watching this by side.
People say, oh, even the casters didn't notice, but they don't realize there's actually a lot of other stuff going on in your casting, so that doesn't mean too much. Also, we're not very good.
Exactly, we're not good players. Trust us. So Pwndnoob gulps his drink. It's not really an obvious gulp, so he can get away with it pretty easily. It looks like he's gonna go down here and seduce and BB probably, since the double agent is in this conversation outside.
So honestly, the fact that you got that fingerprint, if you think you got away with it, getting that second flirt right now, it opens the game up completely. Look at this now. He has so many opportunities to get that fingerprint.
Cartwright getting a lot of low lights. He did miss one on Pearls, looks like. Though.
That looks like a pretty decent trade all in all in gallery. I don't have a big issue with that. That seems
that is probably an above average BB for gallery if I had to guess. And, you know, BB on gallery can sometimes be hard to even get. Honestly, I had a game once where the double agent was never in a conversation,
and this was shamelessly. Yeah, no, it'll happen for sure.
This was a never this wasn't a short game either. It was a pretty long game where I was like waiting and waiting for that bug though comes off. And it's gonna take a shot for it. Cartwright sees it.
I said if he didn't give it away, I don't know if I want to say. I mean, I understand the decision certainly, but think about the situation leading into that bug. BB is done. Seduce is done. You have 1 fingerprint already, and you've got 1:40 left on the clock. You're in a pretty good position. I will take that position over the starting gallery position easily, especially with no highlight. So I think Noob was the favorite going forward into that game, but could not resist the bug. And look, I'm not going to analyze that too much because we all have that split-second bug decision, which we would think better of later. It's a very common thing. You don't have very long to think about it. In this case, though, notice Cartwright was zoomed out. Very often people are not, and if they're not, he probably gets away with that.
Yeah. And so that's 2-1. Cartwright up over Pwndnoob right now. And he's been showing to be a good spy. He's a patient spy. And his sniper isn't like it's not shabby so far, I think. You know,
Yeah,
like
we don't
the
have a
first,
lot of information on the sniper yet, though.
like
Certainly.
we don't. I'm not seeing any glaring weaknesses here. He's getting his lowlights for his BBs. He's playing sniper the way people play sniper.
Yeah.
It is. I think it seems like he's got enough experience to come in here, and he is actually no, this is not a player trying to figure out the game as much as it is a newer player who has figured out a lot of the game and is trying to perfect it.
We certainly don't see any issues yet, yeah. But he's going to be tested at some point in this set, I'm sure, and I want to see how he responds.
All right. Let's see if Pwndnoob is able to write his own cart in 3, 2, 1, go.
So now you've totally stepped on any cart wrong jokes we might make later, yeah.
Ouch.
All the puns are over. That was it. We get one collectively, and it's been used.
Damn, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I
I'll
wanted
come up
that
with some new
one.
ones. Yeah.
That's a bug plant. He gets the highlight for it, but it wasn't like seen. It looks like it was a bug path, and maybe it was even a wrong path. But the bug was not seen technically. He does get the highlight. He does seem to be credited for it.
And Flirt half done already too. Bigger deal on gallery than you think. Even knowing this, I always underestimate how perilous Flirt is on gallery. That's such a long way to walk if your ST bails.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Gallery flirts can be brutal sometimes, especially if they sit on these these gallery painting pads and just like walk around a bunch because they can.
That's
Lots
5
of
lowlights
lowlights
so
here.
Yep, 5 lowlights. That's close to the number possible. I think maybe
Yeah.
6 or 7 were technically possible, but once again, it's about par.
Yeah. So it's lots of lowlights, but that's BB on gallery all the time, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So you're not going like there's a lot of places in AI can be that's non-conversation, which is just what's it's kind of brutal for when you want to go for that BB, and it makes galleries BBs feel like a much more perilous mission than any other map. Cartwright looks like he's gonna go up to green bookcase. I don't know if he's crowding rocker a little bit right there, but it's not 3 at bookcase, so no wee woo.
But look at this. Does not have the normal cover from that conversation that you normally get in that
Yeah,
spot.
there is a small man there, and that's not much cover. Toby is giving cover now, though. He is sitting there, but he moves away.
Now
so
that's a
Cartwright
trap. Yeah,
back.
I don't know if he planned a microfilm with the normal full conversation or not, but wisely decides not to in this case.
Got a video freeze apparently on stream.
And it feels like he might not want to inspect now, because if he were going to try to finish inspects and flirt, you'd think he would have gotten one done already.
Let's look at a video
Yeah,
freeze
it
on
should be
stream,
fixed
so we're
now.
gonna have
I don't know why that's going on.
Yeah,
we in radio mode.
it's got to refresh. Yep.
So Cartwright's just sitting in this conversation. His ST's way down there.
Yeah, and that green flirt now, suddenly, it's not a luxury. Now you need it, probably.
Yeah. He's gonna get offered a drink. He might be looking for a purloin here. It's gonna be a white purloin. Is it noticed?
All over
he's staring straight at it. He's got to notice. He's gonna narrow it down. He's gonna narrow it down to 2 people with this. That's what's
I
happening
was just
here.
gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen a sniper cam that is staring more closely at a perfectly clear white fade than that. He was all over it. The camera position was perfect, and he's just, I don't know, he's just not sure.
If you can get this green flirt here, it's really big. Your ST is reading, so he's not gonna leave. It's a green test, but he shoots.
Wow. I can't believe he didn't shoot. Please, Slappy, look at the sniper cam here. At this, it looks like the clearest view, outside of courtyard maybe, that you will ever get. Pwndnoob had the perfect position. He's looking right at it the whole time, but he's just not quite sure. So, I mean, I guess if he's that confident, he's not done.
I mean, but like your confidence is in the fact that he hasn't completed flirt. Of all things,
right? On gallery of all places. I don't know. I mean, I understand
I think the assumption that you haven't completed flirt on gallery is a little bit better than most maps, but it's still 45 seconds. You still absolutely could have had like some kind of timer flirt situation where you just get 2 off and you're done.
Right.
So I think
right.
I don't know if it's a mistake to not shoot there, but it works out for Pwndnoob. He goes to tie in 2 and 2.
Well, and once you decide not to shoot for the purloin itself, then it is absolutely the correct thing to wait, because if they're not done, they're not done, and you might as well wait for the pad of
Yeah.
of course. But if you were tunneling on that person for the bug, then maybe you can be confident about the flirt. If you're tunneling on them for the bug, that's a different question entirely, which he might have been.
All right.
right.
We are
Modern.
heading into Modern, and since the last time I think we've casted this competitively, a changed Modern with 4.5 minutes.
The extra 30 seconds.
Yes. So I'm curious how that's going to play out. A lot more opportunities for framing now, and a lot more opportunities for slow play, and
in my experience,
a lot less ability to low light for inactivity, or at least marginally less.
Yeah, in my experience, it's much easier to complete missions now as Spy. There is like Modern is a big map. You got to walk around a lot, and there are 5 missions you got to do. With this extra 30 seconds, it's much easier to complete missions as Spy. Not to say the sniper won't notice, but you have a little bit more time, a little bit more leeway to idle just a little bit.
All right.
So we're gonna go into Modern, the last of Cartwright's picks.
All right, now. Sounds good. We are going to start in 3, 2, 1, play.
All right. Pwndnoob starting off on Spy as, what is this, Bling Twin? I always have to check their tie.
It is indeed.
It is Bling, yep.
Marks a Spy suspicious. What for? I don't even...
Well, it's easy to remember. It's not... The log says suspicious, but we know that it's not just tracking suspicion. Sometimes it's just tracking information. And grabbing an early book, when there's a bar rush in particular, I think is an increasingly popular move.
Yeah. In fact, in a lot of my Winter Cup sets, when I play Modern, I love going to those books early, and I really need to break the habit. Because if someone notices, I'm going to get high lit.
He's also a twin, don't forget. You guys literally just had a brief conversation about which twin was which.
Yes, it might be a distinction twin.
But you know what? It's funny you mention that, because we all thought that was going to be standard meta to highlight a twin, and almost nobody does it.
Oh, that's a bug, and he's just going to get shot for it. He's just going to... Like, it's just on the screen. It's super visible. Yeah, Chalicer scores.
Yep,
it's now 3-2. Or no, it's 3-2 now. Cartwright.
Yep, 3-2 Cartwright. There are sick bugs, and then there are tuberculosis bugs.
Tuberculosis.
That bug was the plague. My goodness. Yeah, that not a lot of cover on that one, unfortunately.
All right, we are starting the next game in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I was going to analyze that, but I really don't think there's too much to say.
Cartwright on Seek. Seek is actually one of my favorite spies. That's not an obviously good spy, right? You know, there's Taft, there's Alice, there's Irish, for a lot of different reasons. There's Small Man, but Seek, I like a lot.
Well, he's really cool looking, for one. And one thing I pointed out on Twitter a little while ago that I really like, the fold in his turban mirror the folds in the flower on his lapel, which is also red. It's a nice little artistic touch. There are all sorts of touches like that in the character designs if you care to look. But yeah, Seek is one of those 5 or 6 people that are sort of suspicious because they're not suspicious. They're nice neutral characters that don't stand out or aren't too slow or don't have particularly bad bugs. They're nice kind of mid-level characters. Yeah. But sometimes that means they get picked more as a result.
Lazy Bear, highlight Seek versus OP. I still do just all random, you know that, right? I just like when I get Seek.
Random +2.
Random plus like 5 for me. I just hit the button a bunch of times.
Yep.
So he's gonna step into bookcase here and get this green book out. He's gonna look at it for a bit.
From that conversation. If he wants to do something here, he's got cover for it. Even with that tall character, although that does cut down on it a little bit.
He's gonna take the book out, is the thing. Does Pwndnoob know which book it is? He does seem to have kind of looked at Cartwright a little bit as he came out of books there, but that's just the laser movement.
I think he does. I actually think one of the underrated things about the extra 30 seconds we talked about, it's not just for timer flirts. It allows you to take books out, put them back, and then do the transfer, because sometimes people low light for putting the book back in the right shelf. It makes the other microfilm, rather than just moving the book, more viable.
Right. Absolutely. Because previously, action test microfilm was near impossible to get away with, because first of all, you do have to just get those action tests done. Second of all, you have to visit bookcase at least twice, possibly up to 4 times. but Cartwright gets marked suspicious here.
Yeah, the problem was it really ruled out the idea of taking the book out and doing the microfilm any other way. But now it's more viable. And yeah, a highlight there could just be for the sort of BB and then leave at a normal time. Some people, for example, will say the next person to leave a conversation after the BB is very often the spy, and they're right more often than you'd expect.
I mean, yeah. So like it's this kind of heuristic that it's like you can use as suspicion. It's very much like those kind of etiquette things that are not necessarily hard tells, but they're very rare, like short window stays, for example. Yeah.
Nobody's going to shoot for it unless they're desperate, but it's a decent thing for general suspicion. And by the way, Cartwright not shot yet at blue bookshelves.
Yeah, he's taking it back, and he's going to put it back, and he's going to get his mission done. But you know, it appears not to be caught. You know, if you've caught a microfilm, you're pretty much getting shot for it.
It's hard to say, right? Because Modern is like Veranda or Library, where you see things and be more confident than usual they're not done. There's just a lot going on. They have to do so many missions. You can wait. You can see a hardtail and really wait on Modern.
Critical green flirt here from Cartwright gets from 58% all the way up to 100%. He was on the verge of needing to 4 flirt if he did not hit that green, which would have been a real time suck, especially as his ST runs away to bookshelves.
Yeah, but he has no fingerprints and no inspects. Purloin seems like a very obvious choice, but if you want to go statueless here, you really got to hope for a good bug opportunity.
I don't know where he's gonna get his last 2 missions quite yet. He's got a minute left on the clock, which is, you know, again, we're looking at that extra 30 seconds coming into play right now. You know, if you're sitting at 20 seconds right now, it's so much more difficult to really finish these missions. I think he might go for like inspect, green swap into another inspect, or just inspect,
or the other way around. Yeah,
or the other way around to get the swap at the second statues. This might be a pause game. He swaps it.
It's a white swap.
It's a white swap. Does Lazy Bear notice? Not Lazy Bear. Pwndnoob notice?
He does. After a delay, yeah. I don't know if it would have worked as the last action, but I think maybe... So he's probably thinking what you're thinking. I need to hit this green and then go finish inspects at a different set of statues. And maybe he doesn't see the actual fade, for example. But you can't just hit greens at will, so...
Yeah. So we step into our veranda set. This is terrace though. We're stepping into terrace. Terrace ballroom veranda set. This is Pwndnoob's pick.
Yeah, and a big change of pace from Modern.
Yeah, I get Pwndnoob and Lazy Bear mixed up fairly often. Not gonna lie. I don't know why. Maybe it's their names in chat. They're both very orange.
That's probably what it is.
All right, we are stepping into terrace, and before we start, we have fingerprint and swap off. The odd one being fingerprint, but sometimes people interchange inspect and fingerprint on this map. So
yeah, and this is the same setup Kaylee used earlier to rush a win.
I thought that he was inspectless on that one.
Oh, there's actually inspect on this. You're right. Yeah. I didn't realize.
All right, so we are starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Pwndnoob says, "Oh, this game. Oh boy, we should be in for a fun one." Pwndnoob just goes to Windows, checks his watch, sips a drink. You know, all the sorts of actions you can do at Windows.
Yeah, pretty much all of them. Pretty much.
Suspicious. Is this another? It might just be another twin marking. And if you're if you're Pwndnoob now, you got to be like, oh come on, this is the second time I've been the highlight twin. Why can't I just be? Why can't I just be the neutral light twin?
Point. We're at a 25% probability now, assuming it's random.
And he's gonna knock out his other twin, so he's gonna keep his highlight. Looks like he was about to highlight the other twin before the low light came off because of the BB.
Well, there was no fingerprint, so he wasn't gonna get any suspicion for that.
Looks like we're just going to sit here and flirt, probably. We are not close enough for a 3 white flirt right now. But we do hit a green, and we get that up to 80%, so all but the worst flirts are going to get us to our 100%.
That's a big deal. So the probability of victory changed dramatically between that being a green or a white. Just have so much time now to plan out how you want to do this.
Yeah, and like if you want to timer flirt here, you absolutely can. You don't need to hit that green anymore.
No. But what is the plan?
Yeah, what is the plan? Because
I don't think it's statues for Noob. Yeah, I don't think so.
And yeah, that's the thing. Statues is on this map. I usually take I usually take fingerprint over it because it's much easier to track statues in my opinion. Sometimes you'll have difficult fingerprints that you can get by the sniper, and sometimes that's just how you win the game. But statues, you go to them twice and it feels like death. You know,
Yeah, 3
feels
people have
like
been to
death.
statues now. If one of them goes back, that's a big deal. But if he's watching, if one of these players like Wheels or General comes next to him and talks, oh no, he leaves early. I think he's going to spread the BB around, get some more possible BBers in there.
Yeah, but you don't
No?
want to. He's just gonna seduce here so far. Ambassador's very tantalizing, kind of just walking past, but it's such a hard decision to make, especially when that bug might not even come off.
Smallman has been to statues again, but it's the same statue set, so that's no good.
Yeah, Smallman then gets a fingerprint. I feel like everyone in this game has like fingerprint and one statue. One fingerprint, one statue for like each of the suspects for him right
Okay,
now.
so here's an underrated play right now. There's a big guy at bar. You can go Purloin, and it's hard to see the guest list vanishing
Yeah,
right
Purloin
away.
is on. But this might
Faking
be
debug,
a
faking
fake
debug.
into bug. Fake into bug, but it's seen.
Yep.
And there it just is. Cartwright is all over that ploy there. I think that if maybe if that's not in just such an easy spot for the sniper to like just kind of notice, that
Yeah.
works a little better.
I
But
think
as it was, the ambassador was in a spot such that it's very easy to see, especially from the common angle, that common center angle spot snipers like to be at for terrorists. I think if Pwndnoob goes around the other side of the ambassador, actually forces like makes it harder to see unless you like go all the way over to the left on sniper. I think
Yeah.
that might work just better.
Yeah, he was looking pretty clearly at it. What's interesting, though, is that one of the other highlights, General, was at the bar. It could have been a late Purloin, could have been the last mission. I think if he waits an extra second, he's probably looking at the list and is a little more likely to get away with it. But he also wanted to get that BB done above 10 seconds, too, just to increase the pressure just a little bit. But I think that might have been a second or two away from working, frankly.
Yeah, and this
Because
is
the BB
blow
happens
for
just early
blow.
enough that he's not looking at the list yet, so he
Yeah.
knows General's not going to take the list.
And this is just blow for blow on this right now. They have been going back and forth, one game apiece, splitting all of these maps, and that's really strong showing from Cartwright. He's not giving things up as a sniper. And you know, even though Lazy Bear is doing the same thing, like this is the kind of thing Cartwright needs to do to just hang with Lazy Bear right now.
Right. So if you're Noob coming into this, you're one of the division favorites, certainly. Maybe one of the
No,
favorites.
I said Lazy Bear again. God damn it.
That's fine. Noob, obviously the division favorite and one of the favorites in the tournament. You don't know what you're getting with Cartwright yet because they're not that well known. But by now, at least, you know this is not going to be as easy as you'd hoped.
I'm transforming Pwndnoob and Lazy Bear into the same person. I'm doing some alchemy over here.
Yeah.
Some
All right.
black magics.
We are starting into the next game. Pwndnoob needs to pick this up to even it out, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, flame.
All right, Cartwright gonna turn around. So this is again splitting up the missions. This is not the same missions as Pwndnoob. Pwndnoob had. Instead of inspect, you've got fingerprints. Still got the purloin on, as expected. But right now you've got nothing going on for you, and just gonna step in these innocent statues. Not much to say about these so far. Although I think maybe it might be a bad decision because if Pwndnoob forgets that that inspects are not on, you might actually pick up some suspicion for it.
Yeah, I think you're probably fine. I think it's deliberately done.
And you get marked suspicious. Was that for a path? What was that for?
Hard to say,
Flirting.
but
It might have been flirting with Kane over at statues.
that's my best guess. But again, Terrace closer to balcony than Modern, certainly in the sense that the highlights and lowlights are going to be a little fluid and a little.
Yeah, Pwndnoob
idiosyncratic.
saying in chat that confirming that he did pair him with Papa being Papa Danger or Kane, as I put it. Gets one fingerprint. Oh, gets a. Oh, I thought that was a bug lean for a second, but no, just an idle animation. I'm watching from the spy side, by the way, so I should probably make an endeavor to like occasionally watch from the sniper side.
I've got you covered there. Don't worry about it.
Smallman takes a highlight. It is Smallman, of course, so you know that's not uncommon.
24% flirt with a minute 15 in. That's
And
going to
in
be
the
a
red.
problem if you want to complete.
Yeah, and you absolutely need the green flirt. Just like Pwndnoob last game, you need the green flirt. You need that assurance that you can get in that 3 flirts. And it looks like your ST might be coming back right next to you here. He does. And so you've got a really nice flirt, and it is a green. So you've got 25% left. So you got to be fairly close, but you don't have to be right next to them.
Yeah,
This is
that
a very
potentially
subtle
saves
flirt.
that saves your ability to finish missions. You needed that to have the option at all. I think.
Yeah, like this flirt is so very subtle from Cartwright. First flirt wasn't near Seek at all. Well, he was kind of close, but he
Oh,
wasn't flirt
so
close.
let's look at this. We think he might have paired with Papa earlier, right? Look at him go to bar there
Oh,
late.
that's true. But he does get the seduce done. Hard. Is this a hard fingerprint?
This should be difficult, yeah.
And he can also delegate the purloin. A lot of options here if it is.
Yeah. If he can get this difficult fingerprint. Oh no! He misses the fingerprint. If he gets that fingerprint, he wins this right now.
Yes, and if he delegates, it's going to be to a low light. No, still hasn't done it. What's it going to be?
The animation break there is going to get him shot as soon as the mission pending happens, I think. At the very
No, looking at a possible fingerprint.
Took shot.
General.
Oh no!
Wow.
Took shot on general. So Cartwright goes up 5-3 over Pwndnoob.
That's a big one right there. That's what we were
That
looking
is-
for. And it all is possible because of that green flirt. That gave him the option. Gets the fingerprint early. The green flirt keeps it.
Yeah, and critically, it keeps the pending going. So it feels because there is a slight change, like when 000 hits. There is a there is no functional difference sometimes between the beginning of overtime and a pending, like up until you hear those beeps. But there is a hang there for a second right before the beeps start. That like, I think that's what got Pwndnoob there. Is that that hang, and he shot before he actually heard the beeps. And if he if he thinks and if so, because if he thinks general's finishing, I think you have to wait for the beeps unless you think that you really have to get this shot in now.
I would also say that against any sniper, no matter how calm and cool and collected, in a competitive setting, in a close match, just getting that 0 flashing, it doesn't matter how much they know the rules. There is just a 5 to 10% chance that a shot will come off, sometimes without a reason. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but that is its own justification in a way, just to get that game hanging on a knife's edge so that the sniper is just that much more likely to take a shot like that. But in this case, yeah, you're looking at possible bug. You're looking at maybe I missed a fingerprint early. Just a lot of general paranoia and a fairly active party in general.
Yeah.
Cartwright, though, just gave himself so many options there at the end. Even after the missed fingerprint, he got into mission win pending.
And I am very impressed with Cartwright's spy right now.
That was the breakout game. That was the game where Noob is looking and thinking, okay, this is for real.
Yeah, and really, So Cartwright has not lost a game on Sniper yet. That was the first spy game spy win this entire set, I believe. Actually, no. There were two spy wins at the beginning split because of amazing parties for both. With High Rise. But other than that, Cartwright hasn't lost a Sniper game. Other than really nice parties for the spy, that's the first spy win that like really felt like, okay, this is a good strong showing as a spy. Of course, they both took advantage of those spy wins earlier. Like they took good advantage, I think, of the suspects and the active party earlier. That was good for them, and I think that's a skill in itself. But to win a game where the party is obviously not obviously in favor of the spy is definitely a strong showing from Cartwright right now, and he hasn't lost a sniper game that wasn't like biased towards the spy with the party, as I said. Right, so he's playing a very strong, consistent sniper so far, and he just has shown that his spy is also very scary.
Yes.
All right, we're going to step into the next game. We're stepping into Ballroom, which can be very swingy, and Pwndnoob stepping in as spy, seeing if he can take a win or if the writing's on the cart. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't even understand. I'm not going to ask.
I don't even understand.
Move forward.
I'm just gonna laugh and pretend I know what he's talking about.
So Noob got to be sitting there thinking, "Wow, okay,
yeah,
I'm in a bit of a hole now."
Yeah, no, that if Cartwright can continue that amazing sniper play, but ooh, this bug just while standing, and I don't think Cartwright notices. He doesn't even pick up any suspicion, and like there is that pillar, in the way in between that little area.
But the arm was visible. It was just visible.
Yeah, there. So it's definitely something that I think you have to notice, and it's but he doesn't. So it's getting away with a hard tell on ballroom where it's so easy once you've gotten completely scot-free. You know, with wait, did he just double sip it?
Yes, he did, and he got a highlight for it, I believe.
I was like,
Nope, that's this could be looking. Look, if you're looking at the
I
win
just kind of.
probability, if you're looking at the win probability chart of this game from Noob, it starts off 50% because it's ballroom. It skyrockets to 80 because you got away with a bug, and then maybe it goes back down to 30 when you double sip at statues. We're all over the place right now. This game could end any
Yeah,
way.
I think if Cartwright is just a little bit more experienced, that's just a shot.
I
Right?
mean, I would hope so. I actually think that the most experienced people though would wait because it's not a mission. So
Right. Fair enough.
there's a curve. If you're not that experienced, you don't notice there's no shot. If you're pretty experienced, you notice and there's a shot. If you're really, really experienced, you notice and you wait. And then there's a
Yeah,
shot.
but the thing is, Pwndnoob has the bug before he was suspicious.
But he was right, yeah, he wasn't. If he thinks there's already been a bug, totally different. In this case, doesn't seem to have noticed it at all.
Because so the fact that Pwndnoob gets away with the bug before he was suspicious for that double sip at statues is really strong. Because yes, like if you start tunneling on Pwndnoob right now for that double sip, you're only going to see 3 missions. You saw him go to center statues. You assume he can get this flirt, and then if you see him in real BB, you've seen him for 3 missions.
Right.
Do you shoot on 3 missions and on the double sip?
Yeah, the fact that he hasn't shot yet is really significant, and the fact that he has a fingerprint means he might not give him the BB prompt to shoot either. So I
That's
think if
true.
Noob isn't dead, if he can get the other fingerprint and it's not too obvious, I think he's might have won a
And well,
this one.
he's getting the obvious fingerprint here. He's just taking out this bookcase and he's going to grab that. Oh no, it's a red test. Yeah, I didn't even realize that was a difficult fingerprint, but it looks like the ST got there just in time to deny it.
That's a shame, but he's still got
And
options, and BB is
it's a-
probably still a decent option.
It's a shame too because the ambassador had just walked away from that bookcase. Going to that bookcase immediately. Okay, see now here he's being very obvious about the fingerprints. So, and he's just gonna put it down. He's not gonna return it, but he's gonna get shot for it. That's just too much. The no return gets shot. He gets shot, and this is 6-3 Cartwright. Cartwright is on the cusp of taking this upset over Pwndnoob.
With a margin too, and
Yeah.
Noob has to win 3 in a row, and that's a game. I think he's got to be looking back and saying, I had that bug was clean. If I just don't have to do that double sip, I'm probably fine. And
Yeah.
maybe even afterwards he was still okay, but there were just too many. There were these brilliant plays interspersed with these errors.
Yeah,
And it just got him in
these
the
were
end.
definitely unforced errors, I think, by Pwndnoob. At least, at the very least, the double sip was an unforced error that got punished by a highlight. And you know, sometimes you get punished by a shot there, but
Yeah,
you
I don't have a
know,
problem with the decision, but obviously the double sip is the big swing in the game, and now he needs 3 straight just for the right to play overtime against someone he was almost certainly a big favorite against.
yeah, and this is really huge from Cartwright. Cartwright is playing so well. You know, against this really, he's got these really big underdog thing going on from
Well,
all the expectations, and he's playing so well.
I think the big thing is that Cartwright is just playing a very solid, clean sniper game. We haven't really seen anything ridiculous like catching an incredibly deceit bug or anything
Yeah.
like that, or get a bunch of lowlights off a time. And what we've seen is that Noob plays a very high-risk spy style. We know that. Very aggressive and high-risk, little bursts of activity, and that he's been able to catch him when it counted. So at the very least, maybe he just matches up particularly well with Noob. We'll know when we see him play more matches.
Yeah, exactly.
But we've seen a nice, clean sniper that has at least managed to ding him when he's made these types of mistakes.
A clean, consistent sniper is the important bit, I think.
Yeah.
It's not making like many sloppy errors. Like sometimes you'll miss bugs that are just standing bugs, and that's going to happen sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But that's the only really big thing that like you could point out at and say, okay, this wasn't exactly the most consistent thing. You need to catch that. But other than that, his sniper has been so very consistent, and his spy has been impressive. So we're going into this, and Pwndnoob has to win 3 in a row just to play overtime.
Yep.
All right, we are starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, Cartwright's gonna go over to these bookshelves. Is he gonna bug here? He's waiting way too long to take out these.
Toby's running interference.
Ooh, that's a hard tell as far as etiquette's concerned. He's gonna get the highlight for it because he didn't get a book at bookcase. And if you like, even if you assume Pwndnoob, like, even if Pwndnoob assumes he missed the takeout and put back, he didn't have enough time there to have done 2 cycles and put it back.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's I just not enough presence of mind there. I think, unfortunately, because
Yeah,
you're doing a hardtail on the way to do a hardtail.
I
You're
think
doing
if
2 hardtails simultaneously.
I think if Cartwright had just bugged immediately as soon as he was in that position and then taken a book, I think he'd have been in a much better spot right now,
Yeah, maybe.
assuming the bug wasn't caught. And it's like that old adage, like, never commit a crime while you're doing a crime, while you're committing a crime, right? Like, never
Yeah.
speed while you're trying to hide your body,
Yeah.
because that's when what you're gonna get caught for. And I think that might be what got Cartwright caught on this
Yeah,
one. He
the
gets
bug
highlight.
was the bank robbery, and leaving without taking a book was the broken tail light. And the
Yeah.
way Noob is looking around right now at that general side makes me think he's right
Yeah.
behind him with the sirens on.
Wee woo, am I right?
Yep, wee you. That's where it comes from, everybody.
Now, what does Cartwright do? How does he win this spy game? Is the question. Where does he go from here? If he thinks he's suspicious, where does he go from here?
He slips on the sink and hits his head and invents the flux capacitor. I think this one.
I think you've got to.
I think you got it. It is Noob though. Like, I mean, so like if
There's a white
he's
BB
gonna,
here
he's
as
gonna
well.
notice a lot of
Stop
like,
talk.
a little more likely to get a civ shot, I think, than your average sniper, just a little bit because of the way he snipes and the way he plays, a little more intuitively, a little more behaviorally. But he knocked out a pretty big suspect right there, so hard to say. I just don't see Cartwright finishing with a mission win, though.
Yeah. So I think, in my opinion, here would have been the best time to go in a small conversation and fake BB.
Right. Really put him to the test.
And really just hope that an AI does enough, because you've made the mistake you've made is big enough that you're probably not going to complete missions, and so you're gonna have to rely on the party to give you this win.
I just don't see what he's going to do. I think Noob he's at the point where he's almost so sure he can just count flirts, and it's just going to be the first thing he does.
Right, and there's going to be a purloin, it's going to be a white, and this is going to get him a shot right here. He's going to see the purloin, see the fade, he's going to take the shot. Yep, there it is.
That was just Noob's patience. That was just, I'm almost positive, but there's no reason to rush this, and I don't want him to know what I caught and what I didn't. And if he thinks there's any chance I caught him just for the purloin, good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's one.
That's one. Pwndnoob just needs 2 more on veranda.
We have been counting down 3, 2, 1 before every game. We're counting the other way now. That was 1, 2 more, and we force overtime.
Veranda, heaven or hell, says Kaylee. It can be, that's for sure.
Depends on which side of the rifle you're
and
on.
And Pwndnoob says, "Lol, this game. I'm scared now, but let's go."
I think he just says that every game, though.
He said it for one other game.
When he says this game, he means the game of Spy Party. Yeah.
One true match. All right.
All right, we are getting ready. We'll see if Pwndnoob can get himself out of jail with a right of habeas corpus in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh God!
Do 2 bad puns make 1 good pun? I think
No.
that's the math there, right? Yeah.
No,
he did manage to weave 2 together there.
This is double time ad going on right here. Triple time ad, and the only the last one is green.
Noob waits until his back is against the wall to bust out the old triple time ad.
Oh no! Get out of jail, Miranda. Chat's making too many puns now. We've incensed them. So it looks like Pwndnoob might just take this time ad, silly time ads, and just idle.
I think so. So we've been talking about Cartwright being patient and disciplined on Sniper. That is about to be tested.
Yeah, because this is the biggest test. If you just miss these time ads, that's like, in itself, that's kind of like a psychological battering ram, right?
It is.
You have just busted down the mentality here. It's like, oh my God, I missed like 3 time ads. I like this over 5 minutes left in this game, and the clock's going slow.
Yeah,
You know?
are. If the spy is really smart and efficient, they use the time ad and it enhances their chances of winning 10% or something like that. But most of the time, the power of the time ad is the paranoia it generates and the fact that they saw someone else around windows 30 seconds late and they thought, well, maybe that was the time ad. They didn't look at the clock right away and someone else gets shot, even though it's not a mission. That is usually how time ad benefits the spy, unless it's used very carefully and judiciously.
Yeah, and I think with how Cartwright Sniper has been moving around, I think he's suspicious of his highlights right now for the time ad. I think that's what they've got it for. Action test green transfer. That isn't seen.
Seek's left shoulder covered it. The angle not great for the blue bookshelf, but what that really tells you though is that
He's
Cartwright
not
is
paying
not.
attention to Taft.
Yeah, he's not particularly concerned about that side of the party. He's not particularly concerned about Noob in particular. That means that
I
deep
wonder if
down
Noob
he
knows
believes
that
his
there's.
suspect is one of those people already. He really believes that.
Yeah, I wonder if Noob knows that. Well, there was a fingerprint on that bookcase. I wonder if Noob knows that because it's really hard to tell sometimes where fingerprints are on this map. You can kind of like tell by the ambassador's the little arrow through the wall sometimes on where it is, but it can be difficult. Rejected a drink. Seems to be very committed. That's the word I'm looking for. to this just slow play. Wait for someone to get shot.
I think that's the way to go. You don't want to see the old 3-time ads and then rush missions anyway thing.
I mean, that can be effective sometimes. You know, you don't expect the spy to be aggressive once you've got 3 time ads done.
Sometimes. In this case, I would think it would be overthinking it though, a little too cute. But I think he's doing the right thing. But you notice he's leaving himself just a little bit of wiggle room, right? So microfilm's half done, BB's done, flirt halfway.
Yeah,
If he needs to rush late, he can still do it.
Of course. And he's got 3 minutes 3 minutes left. That's like, there's a lot of time in this game still, and it doesn't feel like there should be, right?
Right.
Looks like he's not gonna try to, microfilm on that popular side of the party, right? He's gonna go over here. He might do it just right in front of the face, but like it wouldn't be it should stand here, I guess. It would not be on the side of the party, basically, is what I'm saying. That would be very suspicious. But nope, he's just gonna walk away. Doesn't even open up the book to read. Doesn't even give Cartwright anything to watch. Gonna slow play this. He's got the book in his hand, so Cartwright doesn't have to worry about this bug really. So I think Cartwright's very happy with where the ambassador is right now, generally. 85% flirt. Our ST is very nice to us. Comes right up, gives us a free one. Stops talk. The laser movement is selling heat on Taft. Do you think? This is Kaylee talking in chat, by the way. Sorry.
It's so hard to tell. So much of the laser movement. We always say this: the spy's like, the laser was on me all game, and they're like, really? I was totally looking at something else. It's maybe right, but so much of laser movement is incidental.
Toby's kind of in the way of this microfilm. Oh, and this will tell if he's actually looking at Taft, because that was extremely on screen as far as Cartwright was concerned.
I don't know. They got some coverage there from the ambassador. I think.
Yeah, just a little bit, but like the arm coming down was very visible. So he's clearly not on to Taft at all here.
Well, and the failed bug attempt too. So now he really knows he's not on to him. But that white time ad might change things. Let's see.
He's gonna double.
Oh my goodness!
Red test time ad. What's going on here? He low-lights Pwndnoob, who is.
It looks like a misclick because he's behind the statue visitor.
Oh
That's
no!
gotta be a misclick. There's no way he would low-light someone for that window visit there. Oh, we're gonna check the replay after this game. That is almost certainly like a double. So this will happen if you're trying to get low lights real quick. We've all done this. You'll just spam the right click, right? When you think there's no one but like maybe one person there, or a conversation where you want to low light everyone, you just spam it. But in this case, obscured just enough by Blondo at statues that I think he probably double or triple clicked and low lit them both.
That's huge, I think, because like Pwndnoob did not run away from that spot at windows fast enough.
No, he was done. He was done with that red time. And I don't know about the white. The white was already pretty bad. I don't know about the decision at all, but that is going to save him.
Yeah, absolutely. Fake BB here.
Micro matters. Micro matters. There's the bug.
Yeah, no, it looks like he was just trying to get those low lights off for the bug, and he's going to take the shot on Queen. And wow. let's look at that replay because that's
Yep.
see if that really was an accidental low late onto Taft here because that seems like it would be. Seems
Queen
like that's
checked
got to
her
be the only thing.
watch at almost the exact same time as the red pesto
Oh.
windows. Almost exactly. She was just behind.
Oh
Just
no.
behind.
That's pretty brutal then. Let's look at this.
The
And
funny
he
thing
sees.
is, that BB might have worked either way because she was more visible out front. He was at least behind someone. So even if he doesn't get low lit, I think Queen was the bigger suspect for the red time ad.
Yeah, the Queen definitely was the bigger suspect. But if you see do remind everybody, we know now that watch checking twice without moving in the same visit is a hard tell.
Or at
So,
least has not been observed yet.
yeah,
by-
it's not, but it's not been observed to be done by AI. So,
Yeah.
we're assuming it's a hard tell based on that.
Yeah, probably is. Yeah, I would say. Wow, that was not a particularly good game from either player.
Yeah, no,
In my opinion.
I didn't like this one. I think the second go back and do time ad thing probably was not the play for Pwndnoob.
Right, I agree. But
The
we were counting down.
the initial time ads are a strategy, and it worked out for him a lot. But going back, especially when you're kind of at the outside window there, if you're over there anyways, take that inside window. Get out of sight.
Yeah. Anyway, that's 1, 2, and this would be the third.
Yeah,
to force overtime.
can Pwndnoob force this overtime?
All
Because
right.
that's gonna be big.
Starting
Because
in.
overtime goes to balcony.
Wait, actually, let's go for the overtime rules. So overtime is just.
Well, if it's
balcony?
necessary, let's
Yeah.
Okay,
let's
that's fine.
see if we need it, right?
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hopefully, we'll be spared that because I understand it's a balcony. I would rather it not happen.
Yeah.
The stress is a little much.
Cartwright goes in for an early inspect. I think that's a fairly standard opener for veranda because a lot of AIs get their one inspect very often.
Yeah, and it's not a bad
So-
move, particularly for anyone who mixes up what highlights mean, which we've seen Pwndnoob do more than once.
Yeah.
To take like a highlight for statues earlier, which is not happening anyway. You'll notice, by the way. And then by the end of the game, on a long venue like veranda, maybe you don't even remember that this is their second trip. It really depends on the sniper.
Yeah, and it can get pretty confusing. When you got a lot of people that can go to statues, there are a lot of statue pads that AIs can path to. There are a lot of them. So, Cartwright's gonna put this back very nice and innocent like. No obvious animation breaks, no nothing like that. It's just a visit to bookshelves, and he just puts it back. It's a time burn, but it might help you lower suspicion. But it does get highlight. I think it might have been for that path into conversation, maybe the position in conversation, but it is suspicious to Pwndnoob because it seems. I'm gonna offer a drink here. Do you purloin? No. Cartwright says, I don't purloin. I don't like it. There's been no rejects before me. This is not the time, And I think that has been kind of the hallmark of his spy play so far. A lot of newer players make kind of rash decisions on these things. I know I did when I was playing first. When I was first getting into the game a lot. And Cartwright has not made those same rash decisions.
No, the decision making has been pretty good for the most part, and there's just been a nice patience, a nice heel that you don't see from newer players as much these days. Yeah.
Again, another offer. Just another reject right here. And if you're Pwndnoob, maybe how suspicious are multiple rejects?
It depends on the venue. I would say on this one, it's not the most optimal thing to be looking at.
Yeah, it's not the thing you're looking at, but if it's the thing is if you notice it, do you care? Cartwright's gonna go in for a second statue visit here. It is going to be completing the mission. He only has this one mission completed so far, though. He is one floor away from his flirts being done, but he needs to find 3 more. If we assume one of them is BB, he still needs 2 hardtails, and those can be sometimes the hardest to get by. They are hardtails after all.
The reason they call them that.
Yeah, and
Yes.
so gets the final flirt off. Might be paired, honestly, with the position with the highlight earlier for the positioning, but we're down to 45 seconds now, and there's only 2 missions done. Not even a BB to tell Pwndnoob, hey, I'm doing missions. Do you mind misshooting somebody? And so white time ad is that noticed, because he was the only one at Windows during that time ad.
I think the really significant thing here is that time ad or not, Pwndnoob just doesn't have that many suspects. Doesn't seem that worried. I wouldn't say it's been a particularly active party. I think he's just kind of in control of this right now. Even though he doesn't have many low light shields, he's actually playing. Noob is playing a very pragmatic sniper game, a little more than usual. I don't think he's not taking too many chances with those low lights this time.
Banana bread, and then that knocks out a highlight in general, who just got recently highlighted, so is a recent suspect, is what's important.
Yeah. And a late statue visitor.
Yeah, 3rd reject from Cartwright.
But this one is a different kind of reject. It's a green purloin.
It is, and it looks like he's watching for it.
Cast member takes it.
So, and the cast member takes it. He's all over this, I think.
Yep.
Oh, that
bug on the way. Doesn't matter. So the only delay there was he was making absolutely sure the list was gone, and then he was looking to find Alice because she wasn't visible right away. But he knew who it was. I think if someone other than a cast member takes it, maybe Cartwright wins. But instead, the countdown is complete, and Noob has forced overtime.
Yep, on to balcony. And
so,
balcony
those overtime rules.
Overtime rules, as we were saying earlier.
I was hoping they wouldn't be necessary.
If any of you know tennis, that's we're basically in deuce right now. What that means for anyone who doesn't know tennis, this is going to be sudden death balcony. They will play until one of them gets 2 games over the other. So if they split balcony, they're playing balcony again. They split it again, they'll play it again, up until someone sweeps balcony.
Right. So whoever wins this game, they're immediately on match point the next game.
Yeah.
And whoever wins that one, they're on match. Unless they split it.
It comes back to deuce. Yeah.
It spins out to deuce. Right. It depends on how it turns out exactly. So you can't just hold serve. You have to break serve.
Exactly.
All right, sounds good. And let's look at these cut missions. It's just normal balcony. All right,
Yeah,
starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
I would say that would be dramatically overthinking it if anyone tried to do anything with that.
I mean, hey, that's like 2 of the Purloin wins against Kaylee, right? On balcony.
Way back when. Those were like early experiments, yeah, but one of the reasons that was more viable then is because Bug was harder to get away with. New Art Bug is a little easier to get away with, so that's kind of tilted it to the point where it really doesn't make sense to do anything else. At the very least, it's subtle enough now that the sniper really has to look for it, which means their attention is taken away from all the talking.
Gets that early flirt from Pwndnoob. He talks outside of his flirt timer here. His looks like because his ST is resetting the timer for him, so he can do like non-spy like talks. Is what I like to call it.
Right.
Spy-like talks, I would say, at those critical moments, 110 early in the game, 110, and then like down at the last few seconds of the game. But these are non-spy-like talks from Pwndnoob. He's talking fairly often, but he is going to get the highlight for it. That's the thing, because if you talk too much as spy when you're trying to avoid that suspicion, it becomes spy-like again.
Yeah, it loops around on itself eventually, certainly.
So he hasn't got a second flirt yet. I think he needs a green if he's going to. Oh, but it's a white BB. And maybe we see a Wodar shot here.
If you don't like any of your suspects, and maybe your opponent doesn't have particularly good action tests, it's not unreasonable. I'll defend it.
Pwndnoob looks like he might just be going for the timeout here.
He's gonna have to bug or hope someone gets shot. Those are your options.
Is a gulp into bug? Gulp drink? Nope. And believes before he can do it.
Nothing you can do. He's gonna try to bug with the briefcase. Yeah, that's all you can do.
Bug this right here.
Oh. You have to.
Ran out of time right before the bug comes off, but I think it would have been seen regardless.
Yeah, I don't think that was going to work. That second flirt, just not getting that second flirt, the options are reduced. That's pretty much all it is. But you see Cartwright had really good command of the party. Look at those 2 highlights. He had it down. Yeah,
and Cartwright now back in the driver's seat, again on match point, which Pwndnoob has been able to stave off so far this set. Remember, 3-2-1, he got all of his matches done to keep Cartwright from clinching the set. And now we're in overtime, but Cartwright is at it again. He is back on top. He just needs this one win to bring it home and bring this big upset down.
Yep.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
That's one way to look at it. If you're a noob, you're thinking, my God, I've been fending this off the whole time. Another way to look at it is if you're Cartwright, this is the 4th time you've had to put this guy away. You're
And
getting a
you
little
haven't done
frustrated,
him yet.
maybe. Yeah, you can't do it. The death blow, it's just not coming. Hanging around.
All right, Cartwright joins conversation. Ambassador just kind of sits there on top of him. Is this a bug? Do you take this? There's a lot of cover for it, but there's definitely going to be watching.
Yeah.
Do you maybe try to like Twitch bug here? Is that the because the Twitch can be obvious, but if you do it when your idle animation is at its like when AIs can leave, when you're not actually in your idle animation, if you do it then you only get the Twitch, you don't get like the animation break of resetting your idle. So it's something that you can try, and it might have been something that Cartwright wanted to do there, but he doesn't take it. And his ST comes back to him, which is real nice of his ST, but he talks again, and Pwndnoob might be over this. It is green, so he can flirt literally from anywhere, and this will finish the seduce.
Banana
Oh, it's a
bread.
white test BB though, and it's gonna be a Wodar shot because he thinks he's done. He could possibly be done flirting, and that's just gonna be Pwndnoob resetting it back to deuce, second overtime coming in.
Hey, let's do it again. And oh, look at the mission setup.
Purloin is on. All right, just what I wanted to see.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Now, generally speaking, you're just going to play a normal balcony game, and
try to Purloin.
Well, I was gonna say, and if the mood strikes you, maybe, or if it becomes obvious a minute in that the seduce is just not happening.
Yeah, exactly.
But generally speaking, it's like Fingerprint in the sense that the real idea, kind of like Bug 2 anyway, any mission that's not Contact or Seduce, the idea is what will distract them from the missions I actually want to do.
Absolutely,
just to be honest.
And I think we'll figure out if Cartwright has noticed this switch up, if by how much he's watching Ambassador with his sniper.
So that's a good point. The one exception to what I just said is you think they're not going to notice the switch, and you just get Purloin clean because they never even look. Sometimes that's a big thing to bet on, but it can work.
Banana bread.
I don't know if he is though, because he's just not moving his laser. Like Ambassador's kind of been in a buggable spot. Rocker was doing it. Rocker was behind the Ambassador, so some people might swing around to look at that possible bug, and he's just been sitting here not moving his laser at all. And I think at this point Pwndnoob knows for sure this flirt's not happening. I'm gonna go for this Purloin. Here it comes, maybe? Nope, just a normal drink take.
I think if you're gonna Purloin like this, and you're not trying to pull a fast one or anything like that, you need to at least wait for a reject in front of you. Create a tiny chain, and with balcony, even if you just get down to 2 or 3, goodness,
Yeah.
maybe you'll take those odds.
I think you'll definitely take those odds because you get down to 2 or 3, and you've only got 10 seconds left if the BBs come off. He's gonna gulp this drink.
He's gonna need to hit a green. He's gonna need a chain.
Yeah, he needs this green right here, but it's a white. And
he sees it.
Does Cartwright get on this? He's on it, and he takes a shot. Pwndnoob tries to start dancing, tries to move out of the way of the shot before it happens and get the countdown done, but it does not work. And again, Cartwright on match point, on balcony, trying to get this finally done. Finally take Pwndnoob down for this upset.
All right. And we have returned back to typical balcony.
By the way, apparently Pwndnoob did tell him he was switching it up because he's not a cheap, he says.
But dancing isn't cheap? Okay, fair enough. That's an interesting little line to draw. All right, let's see.
Yeah, I agree. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
5th match point for Cartwright.
Yeah, this will be the 3rd overtime. Well, we're still sorry. There's second overtime. No, yeah, we're in the 2nd overtime. This is Cartwright's match point. Yeah.
And will be a 3rd if he loses. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay.
Cannot put this guy away.
Right. Dancing is a honed skill, says a bear. Some people might disagree with you on that. Small man gets a low light. And this is the critical thing. If an AI leaves during a white BB,
Sometimes
that's a
you can bank on
problem.
the talker. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes. You can get instant shot for that.
because you like, okay, who would green BB with an AI just having left?
That one in
right?
particular, yeah. It's unlikely, but you can use that against people. But usually that is overthinking it. Generally speaking, if someone's talking and someone leaves in the middle of it and the BB goes off on balcony, there's a really good chance that talker is the spy.
Yeah. So I think Pwndnoob saw that. He's focusing on Irish right now. He hasn't seen any talks from Irish at all. The ST was right next to us, and we didn't talk. This is definitely going to be a hope someone else gets shot game.
I think so. And it's a perfectly decent strategy.
Yeah, no, like on balcony, that is a strong strategy. And you're gonna see Disney talking again. He's talking fairly often, and but it's a perfect, picture perfect interrupt, is the thing. Oh, and he gets shot immediately for his next talk.
I think at that point he's thinking, I could have missed an early talk. Who knows? Wasn't paying as much attention to BB. So certain maybe from that white BB from the leave. Just waiting for maybe one more thing at that point.
And now we're on a third overtime.
And Noob stays alive again.
And now our game score is now 9-9.
Numbers were not supposed to go that high, you guys. That's not how it was supposed to work.
Is it 9-9 or is it 8-8?
I think it's 8-8. We're in the second round. This
right,
will
yeah,
be the 9.
Okay, yeah.
Nines coming up
I
sure.
can't remember. I can't keep track of these numbers in my head.
It feels like we've been doing balcony forever. Yeah. It feels like
I can't keep track of these numbers in my head once we've gone to like past our normal 12 games. It's hard to. It's like hell.
Numbers aren't supposed to go this high. We're going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Where we're going, we don't need numbers. All right. White time at the beginning of the game, and I don't think Cartwright's noticed.
I mean, I guess he's thinking it worked on veranda. Not that that has any correlation to balcony necessarily.
Yeah, balcony time ads are interesting, especially when they're white. If you're paying attention, it's just a shot in pretty much all cases, because there's no missing who's at windows.
A good balcony time ad reduces the suspect pool to 2 or 3.
Yeah, and that's a good one, so.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the opposite of what a time ad is supposed to do, honestly. You want a time ad to increase the potential of an AI getting shot, when in many cases it can decrease it.
Well, if you get away with it on balcony, the odds that a lot of people are going to potentially finish, obviously it goes way up.
Yeah, of course. If you get away with it, it's a totally different ballgame.
It's a huge gambit.
That's your good time ad.
You know what's interesting about that? What's interesting about that time ad is I don't think it happens if they're playing the opposite order. If Cartwright wins the first game and then Noob is spying to try to keep the match going. Right now, he could still blow the spy game, right? And then snipe him and keep it going again. I think it's the kind of thing you can do when you're not on match point.
Yeah, I agree. It's real, like honestly, it's nothing more than psychological in pretty much all cases, because every match matters, every game matters at this point. But like psychologically, if you're going to do something that if you get caught you're dead,
yeah,
that's hard to do on match point. I'm
gonna go out on a limb and say that there is some psychology in this game. I'm gonna say it's a factor in Spy Party. Yeah,
it might just be.
I'm willing to say that.
Instant talk here. Not a highlight yet, but that was literally instant.
And if he BB's real quick here.
Oh, shoots. And it must have been, you must have thought there that you had a bug. You must have phantomed a bug, because otherwise you're not shooting there.
Well, there was sort of a bump around, let's see, around 55. I mean, not much, I don't think. I'm trying to see if there's anything earlier. It's hard to know who's being paired, certainly.
All right.
Now, no, I see. So there was so Twin goes to Windows. I think one of the Twin follows Smallman to Windows at one point. I'm not sure if it was the same one or not. And then it looks like he follows him again at the end. No, it's the other Twin though. So I don't know. And he highlighted them too. I think he might have just phantomed a bug.
Yeah. All right. Well, that puts Cartwright on the ropes now. Turning it around. Pwndnoob bringing it back. This is the first time Cartwright's been on match point himself. And Pwndnoob's been able to fend it off, what, 4 times, 5 times now?
5 times.
Five times.
And,
5 times.
If Pwndnoob can win this, it will all have been for nothing.
Yeah,
Cartwright's
and,
side.
and Pwndnoob fending this off is playing a really strong game. But Cartwright now needs to fend it off for himself if he wants to come back and win.
All right. See if he can do it in 3, 2, 1, go.
The tables turn so quick in this format.
Cartwright needs a spy win on this here. Goes to Windows to start off. No flirts here. No possible flirts to make the sniper suspicious of him. I think is more important actually.
And I'm pretty sure he's doomed because he didn't add time there. Clearly
Yeah.
should have. Based on the meta of this
Obviously.
particular match, really big unforced error there not to add time.
The only spy win so far has been an add time spy win. So I know.
Yeah.
Looks like he's gonna talk at 128 here. Not gonna get a highlight for it, but it is a green test. That's important.
Yep.
3 green balcony games are so strong.
Yep. Very hard to shoot for.
You only ever have 2 talks, and maybe they're not even like if you get lucky with your ST, they don't even have to be timer flirt talks, right?
Yeah.
Or you can wait until after your timer to talk again, because a lot of people pay attention to timers on this map. So I think it's something that if you get a 3 green 3 green game on balcony, your odds of winning are just ridiculously high.
Yeah, and if anyone who's shooting for potential 3 greens, they're going to shoot a lot of civilians.
Yeah, exactly.
Cooldown coming. This is a big moment.
Real BB started now. It's a white though.
Goes
Not
the other way. Doesn't go for the flirt. That's interesting.
Not that 3. Oh, gets the highlight for it, but isn't shot. Isn't shot. If you can get a green test right here, you need the green test too, because otherwise your flirt's gonna be way too obvious.
Yep.
So you need to if you're finishing, you are going right here in your green testing. If you're not,
Banking the game on one action test. Here it is.
Oh, but the stop talk from Twin, it was really fast. Oh, but there's a bug.
He bugs instead.
Oh my God! Did he get away with it?
He did. I think he did.
He's gonna defend his own match point.
What on earth? How?
And we're another overtime.
I can't wait. I'm gonna DM this guy and I'm gonna say, why did you not attempt the flirt? Was it after the BB? Were you just so nervous that he was on you for that white BB that you actually thought a bug was a better option than a green test potential flirt for the win? Oh my goodness.
I mean, like, I guess, like, if you're Cartwright, you're thinking, okay, I don't know if I can hit this green test, but there is a good bug opportunity here.
That bug is invisible.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
And then Pwndnoob, he has to shoot on bug suspicion, right there from a person he only seen like talk once.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, albeit talking during the BB, but there was only one talk. So
I don't get it. Yeah, that's crazy.
So I think it's just a decision between, do I green test or do I risk that he might see the bug?
I mean, look, if he is right and even a talk gets him shot, then that is his only way out, and it shows incredible game sense that he knows he's that kind of suspect for the white BB. That is nuts. I'm looking at the replay though, and if I didn't see the log, I wouldn't have thought that would have taken. I don't see it. It must be just close enough.
That's so good. Okay. Now we're in our third. No, that was our third.
This is our fourth. It is still going, and we are on with Fingerprint is back on. I'm ready when you are.
Cartwright is giving us a show. He is like he's coming out and making a statement that he is not to be underestimated right now. And regardless of whether he wins this match at this point, regardless, he is someone to be feared going into these next games in his group.
I fear that there will be more games. That's what I fear. It's still going, man. I'm not joking. This is literal. When we started this match, it was light outside, and it is not anymore here.
Same here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are stepping into the 4th round of overtime. There have now been, what is it? So there's 6 games of overtime. So we're already at 150% at the last set of overtimes of the normal match length. And we are going to be stretching it above 150% of the normal match length. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see, can someone put it away? And Pwndnoob has that little stop at window and run away. Instant talk into that conversation. Honestly, I think I just shoot him for that. if I were playing this match, like that,
Banana bread.
that is such a like, and then it's a white BB.
Oh,
He's clearly
interrupts the
going really
animation
aggressive.
too. Yeah, this is looking really ugly.
This
But
is on like okay. I think this is a play you can only make against someone who just doesn't have enough game experience to know what that broken animation looks like, what that window stop and then move away is, right? Because I think for a lot of people with enough experience who know AI don't like that, don't do that, I think that's going to be a shot on Pwndnoob. I think he's playing to his opponent, and while his opponent has been showing to be really, really good for a newer player, there is something to be said for how that experience has not been like that experience of being in the community for a long time, of playing a lot of games, has not been there yet for Cartwright. He didn't shoot for the double sip earlier, for example.
watch out for any possible Smallman shots. There was like a weird redirect around the briefcase that
Yeah,
kind
I
of
saw-
looked like an aborted bug attempt or something. It just looked very wonky.
Bug's not on.
Yeah, and look, Pwndnoob only needs one flirt. It doesn't even have to be that good of a flirt. Wheels is gonna, excuse me, come back in right here,
Banana bread.
and it's gonna be a fake BB. He's gonna talk, and I think that's the fake BB is a distract from the fact that he's talking again, and he's going to win this.
Yeah, there's no shot forthcoming. That's crazy. Such a bad start, but there were just too many other suspects, I think. He was not confident about any of them, and now Noob is forced another match point.
Yeah, can Cartwright defend again? That's the question, because Pwndnoob has done it 5 times. Cartwright's only done it once, and it has got to be exhausting. This match has gone so long,
Yeah.
and like you don't see competitive matches go 20 matches long, 20 games long usually. And this is going to be our
only happened
20th
a handful
game.
of times. Yeah, it hasn't happened often. I was part of one of them many years ago, and I'll tell you, stamina is absolutely a factor after the first
Yeah,
few.
and like I think a lot I using myself as an example, and a lot of people can play a lot of games very casually. You can get up to that 50 to 75 games in a set, and a lot of people can do that. But when you're playing competitively and focusing really hard like that, you can't do that. You can't play 50 to 75 games like that. It's just not going to happen. You're going to get exhausted at some point. And so, does Cartwright keep going? Does Pwndnoob keep going? Who tires out first, really?
Yeah, well, we're about to find out, I think. I hope.
All right, we are stepping into match point for Pwndnoob. So if Sniper wins, takes home a very long set, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
But-
Oh god. Can we see our 5th overtime? That would be ridiculous.
Banana bread.
Cartwright gets an early highlight. I don't. Maybe it's just being small man. Oh, I think he
What?
got suspected for the bug.
Oh,
He's gonna get
goodness.
shot.
Wow, and that's it. It's over just like that.
It's over just like that. Bug suspicion that wasn't even a bug, and it's kind of a lucky shot from Pwndnoob, and he just takes it right there.
Wow. Let
And
me look at this again.
okay, I think what convinced him that he was right on the bug is the really fast
Banana bread.
BB. Is actually what it is.
Well, right.
'Cause
No,
if-
that's exactly what I was going to say, is that the early BB bug kind of combination, if you BB early like that, very often it's to force them to shoot after a rush bug, right?
Yeah,
You make people very paranoid with that. In this case, he's made them paranoid to shoot the right person.
exactly. And really, I think, it's something that you don't really consider that often. You just want to get that BB done. Everyone's in that conversation. You hit that green. But, if you were close enough to the ambassador, you might have picked up the bug suspicion. Suddenly, you might be better off waiting to contact.
Yeah, Slappy, please go to the replay sniper camera specifically, and you're going to want to drag the timeline bar here from about 158 to not quite 157. Look at the hands of Cartwright, Smallman, and Seek. The fists overlap, and if you're just glancing, it almost looks like the hand reaching out towards the Amba, specifically. If you go scrub just bit by bit, their fists are almost in the exact same spot from the sniper's perspective. If you look at it in fast view afterwards, it looks a lot closer to an actual bug. When I first saw it on the replay, I thought, wait a second, that does look like a bug.
Oh my god, it does. Like their fists are just completely overlapped here.
Yeah, look at that. And if you don't, I mean, again, this is happening in real time. So you quick, and just for a half a second, you're like, was that a bug? Maybe. I don't know.
And
I don't know.
critically, it's the right shot.
That's the crazy thing.
In many scenarios, that's what brings us to our 5th overtime. But no, right here, it's correct.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
ends
that's
the
one of the
game in
dangers of picking
Pwndnoob's
him.
favor.
So after
And
all
oh my
that,
god.
yeah, I mean, again, we talk about
That
moral
set.
victories and actual victories. Once again, the winner of the moral victory cannot bring home the actual victory. Cartwright, though, I don't think, though, here's the real problem if you're Cartwright, not going to sneak up on anyone else after this.
Oh, absolutely not. The rest of his group is gonna be real wary now. You can't bring this in and be like, I'm just a new guy, trying my best. You
Yeah.
are a real contender for this
You
top
are,
two.
yeah. And if we get to the tiebreaker, which is possible in that group for maybe the second place spot, for example, if Noob takes first, presumably, the fact that he won, that they didn't win this, but it was so close, that could matter. This might end up being more than just a moral victory. We will see.